Back when nothing truly mattered and we hadn't had a clue, we fell in to play the game. Nothing would ever be the same. There were times when there was laughter, there were times when there was joy, but they took it all away for the pleasure in our pain. Welcome to our whole new world. Shine a light on everything. Please don't be scared for what we know. Welcome to our whole new world. All the lie you tried to hide away from the scars we made. This is your chance to understand we did not design this plan that was built for you. There's nothing you can do. This is my warning, this is your sign that you can't go running high. We will fight for you. You know it to be true. Welcome to our whole new world. Shine a light on everything. Please don't be scared for what we know. Welcome to our whole new world. All the lie you tried to hide away from the scars we made. From the scars we Welcome to our new world. Shine a light on everything. Please don't be scared for what we made. Welcome to our new world. Shine a light on everything. Please don't be scared for what we made. Welcome to our new world. All the lie you tried to hide away from the scars we made. Welcome to Back when nothing truly mattered and we hadn't had a clue, we fell in to play the game. Nothing would ever be the same. There were times when there was laughter, there were times when there was joy, but they took it all away for the pleasure in our pain. Welcome
And welcome, guys, back to Nerd TV for another RSR Next Generation Cup Series race, live from the simulated Mobility Resort Motegi, Twin Ring Motegi, somewhere in Japan. We're not here on the American continent this time around for this race here. As you can see in the sky, very, very cloudy, slight fog, a little haze in the distance. It's very nice, 69 degrees in the air. 87% humidity, cloudy, and 10-mile-an-hour winds. I don't think that'll affect these guys here. Maybe in 1 and 2, possibly, but they're downhill in that part of the track, which is the faster corner. So who knows? There's a lot of unknowns here, including the 2 people that are going to be calling the race tonight. One of which is myself, which I kind of got a little knowledge here. I've done 2 races. One in the next gen about 5 months ago, and then so that person's Jeremy Stanley, aka Jay Swifty, to my right hand side, who just bought the track today, Dustin Loxton, aka Ballistic. Welcome to class, man.
Yeah, class 101 at Twin Ring Motegi. I think the last time I raced this thing was back in like Forza 5, somewhere right around there. So it's been a hot minute, but it's an interesting track. From what I recall from back in the day, and a little bit of the research in track knowledge that I've picked up prior to the race tonight, I mean, it's a very unique layout, very much like Darlington that we seen these guys race last week. It's got that very egg-shaped look to it, but this would be like if Darlington and like Worldwide Technology at Gateway kind of had like a weird offspring baby. This is pretty much what it would be. It doesn't have the banking that Darlington does, but it's got width for days. Like look at that turn right there. I mean, so many lanes, Jeremy, that it is just nuts. So it should be a fun one tonight. I love it when leagues throw in kind of these exhibition style. It reminds me when the Cup guys went to Suzuka, Japan and everything else. I love when they throw stuff like this in there. So a lot of room for these drivers. It's a fast track for its configuration. Should be a fun one.
Who said they don't have ovals that are not the Americas? And
Not
we're looking
us.
at one.
Not us.
I don't even know if they utilize this place anymore. If they don't, they need to. I just don't know the market for it. But either way, you're talking about racing lines. Turn 1 and Turn 2, it's a little bit downhill. 3 and 4 is uphill. Turn 1 and 2 is interesting. I did the next gen race, like I said, about 5 months ago. And the first thing you do is you're going to be like a normal oval driver. You're going to go to the bottom. You're going to hug the white line. You're going to go around the corner. It works great. But some people might know that if you go really, really high into turn 1, you go about 5 lanes up from the racing line. Lift a little bit more in the center. You really straighten off your exit, and you actually have a faster lap time depending on your car rotation. So I know Dalton Wicker likes to jump in on his phone 5 seconds before the green flag flies. If he's listening to that, maybe we might see someone pick up that tip that I just threw out there. I don't know. We'll see what kind of practice they got, Dustin. This place just went checkered flag for practice. So you know what that means. We're going to say goodbye from the cameras. And we're going to focus on this qualifying session here. Zach Strengthen on the number 2. 35.815. Fastest driver in practice. We're going to ride on board.
Yeah, we're going to see exactly what he does. I mean, obviously, he's got a handle for this. You know, being at the top of the practice, something we love to do. We love to showcase the person that had the fastest practice time in open practice. So we're going to kind of take a lap around here and see what he's doing. Right now, going into turns 3 and 4 right now, you see he's about a half a lane up from that white line. But again, this is his out lap. So right now, he's just getting prepped and ready to go. It will be 1 out lap and 2 green flag. There, he just took the green flag for his first of 2 qualifying laps. And like Jeremy stated, you see he's going all the way down, almost to that white line, leaving a couple feet out. But as you can tell, Jeremy, there are some bumps there right in between turns 1 and 2 that can upset the car. So drivers are trying to navigate those a little bit, not to scrub as much speed going through turns 1 and 2. 3 and 4, it's almost going to be a rinse and repeat. It's going to be right down again to that white line. Maybe about a half a lane up. He's going to let it drift and try to build up all the speed he can to that wall and straight to the start-finish line.
I don't know if you can throw telemetry on the screen. It might look a little weird for placement. Let's see if you got it. I never requested this in qualifying before. Anyways, you're going to see him hug the white line here. See the little bumps that Dustin talked about there. Okay, there it is. Now, I'm only doing this because the speed difference, it's kind of like Darlington, as you stated. It's faster in 1 and 2, slower in 3 and 4. We're going to see what the number 2 does here, getting to 3 and 4. Might want to drop it to third gear even. Some might. See, 122. That was the lowest part of, or slowest part of the corner for the number 2. He's going to cross the line. Qualifying time posted as 36.002, 2/10 slower than his qualifying time. Now we're going to go with someone that may be on their first lap. We're going to see what their turn 1 speed is. Here's Richie Coy. And then the Victory Fuel Ford Mustang Dark Horse. And we're going to see what his speed possibly looks like here, as we got 16 times posted Dustin so far. Good strength, or a good field in general for a turnout for a track that not many people know about.
Absolutely, and you got Timothy Watson right now, the only driver in the 35-second bracket. It's good to see that 43 up there. So again, fantastic lap that he put down. We're on board with Richie Coy right now. He's 160 at the line. 5th gear, 170. Slows it back down. See if he keeps it in that 5th gear. He's going to run it, Jeremy, in that second groove there. Outside of that first one, got down to about 145. And there you go. He's going to pick it up. And let's see what his drop is going into turn 3. I would suspect that he's going to drop it to 4th to try to maximize those RPMs. There's that 4th gear drop. And he goes right to the wall, Jeremy. Almost about a half a lane away from that wall there. There he's back on the throttle again. You seen that number turn green. He was fully back on the throttle again. There's 5th gear almost at the line. And that's going to put Richie Coy P18 as it sits right now, but I would suspect that was his warm-up lap, Jeremy. I would expect this one here to be more of a heater.
Yeah, we're going to see out there 137 is the speed slowest in the center of the corner. As he does shift from 5th to 4th and to turn 3 and 4. Quickly, you're going to drop it in there. Gear brake a little bit. It's going to help that tire wear in the late part of the run. Gets there into the mid to low 120s. So for him, it's about a 15-mile-an-hour difference between the slowest speed in 1 and 2 versus 3 and 4. Plus, you're going downhill, so it's kind of cool that you have the faster corner on the downhill part of the track. You don't have to utilize the brake as much, but you're still only going 130. So there's that Richie Coy post P2, Dustin. 35.964. Timothy Watson in the 43 so far has the pole through the 19 times posted with 30 seconds left in qualifying.
Yeah, 3 drivers right now are the only 3 in the 35-second bracket. That's Watson at a .94, Coy at a .96, and Ryan Bean at a .97. Zach Shrimpton very close there at a 36 flat, Jeremy. But again, I mean, if you look at a lot of these qualifying times, very, very close, right? That entire almost top 8 is very close, and then they start kind of separating a little bit more, and you got little packs that are pretty close. There's only about a 10th or 2, or a 100th or 2 that separate a lot of these drivers. So going to be a fast one, but again, that is lone track time. What are we going to do, Jeremy, with 25 of these cats on the track at the same time? This is where it's going to get fun.
There you go. You see the packed house even on the road course section showing their dedication, where there's going to be no cars present. They're just here to hear the sounds. And race grid, they are lining up right now inside pit road for the starts of the 213 Simware 135. Number 135 is for the lap count here tonight. Here we go. Timothy Watson starting P1 to his outside at second. Richie Coy. Row 2, Ryan Bean and Zach Strenthal. Row number 3, you're going to find Harold Watkins in 5th, Brock Potter in 6th. Row number 4, Brian Fine in 7th, Adam Boughton in 8th. Row number 5, you'll find Kane Lee and Jack Simpson in 10th. Row 6 will be Scott Scheib in 11th, Gage Wenzel in 12th. Row 7 will be Travis Strogeny in 13th, Nick Alford in 14th. Row 8 will be Jonathan Cogswell in 15th, Kevin Ruff in 16th. Row number 9, you'll find Alexander Hodge in 17th, Christopher James starting in 18th. And row 10, Bob Fitzpatrick in 19th, who was the last person to post time. Everybody else sorted by their I rating. So 20th place will be Brandon Gagnon. 21st, Dwayne Furtick. 22nd, Corey Dent. 23rd, Robert Fitzpatrick Sr. Tony Ludian 24th, and Dalton Wicker. Last place here, Dustin. 25 entries, set up to go 135 laps around this very beautiful 1.5-mile egg-shaped configuration track. And there's a couple of schemes that are out here that you kind of picked out when I joined in that are a little bit different, like Tiny Toes. He's in the orange. He's going to match the 28 Ryan Beans colors tonight. We got a 911 scheme out there. Just a couple of schemes. I think even Brock Potter as well.
Yeah, and I love it when they come out and they bring new schemes for for different events like this here. It's always a good one as they are starting to roll off now. And look at that field. Now, as we call this race, you are going to see names up in the horizontal ticker that will be in green while the rest will be in white. Those drivers in green, something we haven't touched base on, those are your drivers locked into the playoffs right now. They're going to be 8 drivers that are locked in. Still trying to fight to figure out the remaining drivers as we wind down the regular season here. But at least those drivers there, are locked in as they race with the rest of the field, Jeremy. But should be a good one. Like you said, 135 laps is the distance tonight. Going to see what this side-by-side racing has in store here for what most of us know this track as is Twin Ring Motegi.
3 sets of tires behind the wall, ready for the drivers. Actually, I think 1 on the car, 2 behind the wall, 3 total. 70% fuel. That's very standard for RSR. We're going to see what happens. First time a lot of you guys will be watching this race for the very first time. Pace car is down. Timothy Watson leading his way to the green flag in the restart zone, and bam, we're going live. Green flag's out here at Twin Ring Motegi for the 213 Simware 135. Richie Coy with a great start there, almost mimicking the throttle input of the 43. We're going to see Ryan Beans try to take the... Oh, we got a wreck already in the back. One car spinning right in the middle of everybody else. He saves it. Contact. That is the 91 of Kane Lee. And oh my gosh, Dustin, we need to go back and look at that. I thought everyone was toast.
He saved it.
VHS.
Oh, man. He saved it.
Take a look at this here. Going instant slow-mo. He goes up the track.
And looks like the 81 is shy, 3 wide, and there's like no room for 3 wide there. Just a little bit of contact, and he is sideways and slideways, Jeremy. Saves it. Kicks it loose a little bit more, comes back down into the 80 as he's trying to save it. That's Jonathan Cogswell right now. And everybody checks up, Jeremy. They did a fantastic job checking up. You see that high line went way high and stayed right in that throttle. But everybody stayed going.
Yep, there we are. That's excellent to see there. Excellent job by the 91 to save that after getting tagged in the left rear on cold tires. Single file the entire field except for Kevin Ruff rather than 99. Currently P14 looking underneath the 14 of Travis Strogedy. Dead heat through the center of 1 and 2. Comes off the corner. Ooh, Travis,
pancake.
He loves serving pancakes every single week. He delivered about 10 of them. Maybe even a baker's dozen's worth.
I see what you did there. Baker's dozen, my man.
There you go.
Guy's punny for days.
Absolutely. This is why you hired me to do this. And cheap labor, cheap laughter is what I got going for you.
It works.
Looking at the inside. Calvin. Ooh, he's going to force his way underneath the 98. It's the battle for Nick Alford. Not going to get it this time here. The 14 maybe looking to the inside. He's going to do it. He's going to try to get his spot back.
Yes, he's poking and looking to the inside, side by side, going in. He sticks that low side there. Looks like he's going to have that preferred line. He will clear the 99er Ruff. Ruff does fall back again. We got racing behind them. That's going to be between the 80 of Jonathan Cogswell as well as the 21 of Christopher James. going side-by-side race. And do want to shout out Michelle Rittenberry. Hey, y'all, let's go, Kevin. Love to have you in there. Glad to see you back this week. Let's hope he's got some good luck. But I don't know what's going on up here. We're almost going three wide. 3 wide, Jeremy. Not almost. We are going 3 wide. Rough down low. Alfred in the center, and that was Strajny up top. Strajny is going to get a 2-for-1 on that one there, and he's going to secure both of those. But right now, the 99 are rough, fighting back on that inside, Jeremy.
Tell you, Kevin Ruff is trying to get the series sponsor maximum TV time tonight. Little mistake there from the 98 and the 14 made him drive to the inside to try the 3 wide. And gets 1, not 2. Back to single file for these guys here behind them. They were 2x2. They still are with the 21 Christopher James on the top and the number 80 Jonathan Cogswell. Now we got Dwayne Furtick in the mix. They're going to be side by side in the turn 3. Alexander Hodge right behind them in the Mustang. Sponsored by Monster Energy. He's going to be waiting to see who makes the pass. Going to follow them. Whoever does make the completion. I've already seen the 21. Look at his line. About 5 lanes up on entry. He cuts it down low. And he gives them a great launch. That's exactly what I was talking about. But he drove it too hard on entrance, though. Into the center. He has to check up a lot. And now the 80's looking to the inside.
Yeah, and we're going to see this continuously, Jeremy, throughout the night. It all depends on momentum. This is a very momentum-driven track. You see the 21, Christopher James, goes way high on that. He's going to lose 2-3 positions. The 80 gets loose. That's Cogswell. 3 wide right now. Furtick down low, Hodge up top. That gets sorted out. Cogswell is going to sit here and be the bridesmaid on that one there. He's going to lose 2 positions. And somehow, after that exchange, that saved Christopher James, who was looking to lose about 3 to 4 positions. But after that checkup there from Cogswell get loose, he's actually able to maintain. So I wouldn't press the luck too much on that one, Jeremy, because you're probably not going to get lucky very often like that.
Nope. And so this being a new configuration for a lot of people. It's very similar as far as being an oval goes, but uphill, downhill, wide corners. These corners are very tricky behind the wheel. You think in turn 1, it's a big, wide, sweeping corner. No, you're doing 130. It looks like you can do 160. So it's a little bit of a mental game to make sure you don't overdrive these corners, especially in 1 and 2. Looking back at the race lead for the first time in quite some time because it hasn't been spicy up here, except for now. As the number 28 Ryan Bean looking 2 car lengths, now 1. Behind the race leader, Timothy Watson, who's led all 9 laps so far to open this race.
Yeah, Timothy Watson and everybody in that camp, Jeremy, has brought something special here tonight. They put in the work. He was had speed in practice. Obviously had the speed in qualifying, took the pole, and has led every single lap since the drop of the green flag. Getting a little bit of pressure there. Looked like Ryan Bean got into turn 3 a little bit better than what Watson did, but Watson able to kind of stretch that out from the apex off. So it looks like that, looks like Bean gets into the corners a little bit better. Center goes to Watson, but it looks like Bean can roll off those corners just slightly better, and that allows him to close right back up again.
Got all the way to the back bumper. Lets it go just a little bit for corner entry, as you talked about. These corners are really slow up at the top of the hill. Back down here on the front straightaway still, led by the 43. As these guys have kind of gapped each other. Now this race back here that we left with Dwayne Furtick, Christopher James.
Look at this.
It has not led up. It is still 2x2, multiple rows deep. Right now, Furtick on the inside. Scott Shive in the podium Mustang. He's on the outside. Trying to get that run off the corner. Dwayne, a little conservative approach on the exit, but still gets a good, strong run regardless. Able to clear the 81 and get into 3.
Yeah, this racing here has been really good. I mean, you could see that front pack and the leaders. I mean, they're getting spaced out, Jeremy. I mean, it's pretty much straight line racing. But you have about 12 cars just nose to tail right here. One little slip up, and that's all it's going to take. You know, some of these drivers are going to end up gaining a lot of positions. wow, look at the 80 there. So he's taking that line and approach that you were talking about, kind of letting it drift up and kind of carry and build that speed. You just got to make sure you're doing it in the right corner. You want to, again, like you said, Jeremy, turns 1 and 2, that's where it's at, because that's that wider corner. Just like at Darlington, 3 and 4, a little bit tighter of a corner. But this racing right here, this is where the action is at, and this is right around that 15th position as it sits right now.
Yeah, as that clears momentarily. Oh, the 81 drives it in deep there. Scott Shive looking underneath Jack Simpson in the 24. Gets about a half a car length ahead of him. Turn 2 exit there. The 24 has to back it down before hitting the outside wall. Now Christopher James in the 21 looking. Oh, and Alexander Hodge trying to stick the nose in there and gives a bump to Jack. Does not move him, though. Check up by the 21. The 24 has to recoil that. Now Alexander Hodge to the top side of Jack Simpson at the line. Does get him technically there to complete their lap 14. Still 3 wide now into turn 1. Goes back to 2 wide real quick. Really spicy still back here for outside the top 10.
Yeah, and I'm still trying to get used to some of the new paint schemes. You see that Jack Simpson is in a new one. That's 2430 Esports sponsorship on that machine. And right there you see Dalton Wicker starting to make his way in there. And Jeremy, this was a paint scheme that we had talked about. Wicker and Dank. Oh, 3 wide there as Simpson had to check up. He's going further back, not what he wanted to do. Still 3 wide in the center. And they're going to end, Kane Lee's going to end up clearing that, take that back to 2 wide between the 24 of Simpson and the 80 of Cogswell, now back to single file. But what I was talking about was Dank and Wicker have this paint scheme, and this is a beautiful paint scheme. I love how they have the... we were talking about it, almost like that flat chrome look, but then they still do have that chrome around the tires there, around the front tires. Very beautiful paint scheme. You don't see a lot of orange cars out there, so it's always nice to see people kind of spice it up.
I love the color orange too, so don't know why people don't run it as much as they do. Anytime I think of, orange, I go right to Robbie Gordon. Back in the day, AT&T.
AT&T, the Speed Energy. Yeah, he had some good ones there too.
That's usually what I think about, but outside of that, I don't know why there's not too many orange cars out here. If it's based off of speed, I see it. These guys are back behind the top 15. You guys are looking at the 98 now. Nick Alford. He's currently running P12 at the moment. You got Calvin Rupp and 13 right behind him. Let's go on board with him because we're going to give a shout out to the series sponsor, BestOne Tire and Service. If you're looking for a one-stop automotive repair and tire shop, BestOne Tire Service helps you get new tires, tire repairs, and auto service you need from the people you can trust. Check out where they're nearest located to you by visiting bestonetire.com today.
Yeah, BestOne Tire, number 99, has been in an ongoing battle there with the 98 of Nick Alford. These guys have not left each other's door panels, rear bumpers, front bumpers, any bumper for about the last, I would say, probably 8 to 9 laps, Jeremy. And now the 25 of Dwayne Furtick is starting to come into play. And I've seen Furtick there utilize that second lane there that you had made mention in the pre-race show presented by Martin Sports. And he has been slowly gaining on him. And right now he's battling the 99 of Kevin Ruff. That's going to put Furtick up to 12th, Ruff back to 13th. So now these drivers are starting to go in. And Jeremy, at 20 laps in of the 135 scheduled distance for this track, this is where these drivers are really going to be able to test their long run capabilities. There's that number 94 of Adam Boughton that you made mention during the grid presentation. That's that 911 special wrap ran by none other than Adam Boughton. Again, near and dear. I love people that run 911 things. That's very, very special to myself. If it wasn't for that, what I do day in and day out is directly affiliated in as a direct result of the events that took place on 9/11, which obviously the anniversary of the tragic events is tomorrow. But as a federal security instructor, that's something that I do. I teach TSA and everything else on how to make sure that situations like that don't happen again. So I love it when drivers run tributes to 9/11 like that. And that's a beautiful paint job there as well with the Twin Towers in red like that. So awesome job by Adam Boughton and whoever was the design brains behind that scheme.
It's really creative to have the red towers amongst the blue city as the paint scheme. Really creative there for sure. Lead change on lap 15. Ryan Bean passed Timothy Watson. Now he's 0.8 of a second ahead of him. 6.5 laps later. So that was our first lead change then.
And that was when I believe we were covering all the racing action that was further back on all that. So while we were covering all the 2 wide and 3 wide racing was when that pass ended up taking place.
It was a nice clean pass on the front straightaway. Got him door to door to turn 1. That was it. And there's the replay of the lead change for the first time tonight. Dives it deeper in the corner. 43 took a little bit wider approach to the corner, which worked for him in the center. But Ryan being able to rotate just so much nicer than almost everybody else on the back half of the corner. And this is why he's almost a whole entire second over the 43 at this time at the line. 23 laps completed. Don't ask me about the fuel mileage. I know it's 70% on fuel tank. I don't know the lap count, but you're seeing the spacing out right now. This is kind of what I've experienced here, Dustin, is this race as you get to the iRacing iFlag track map. Just kind of read my mind there.
I got you, boo-boo. I got you.
There it is. Amongst the competitive ones, there's still a half a track distance between the leader and the guys back there 15th, 16th, 17th. And this will continue to grow, largely too, not just by a minimal margin. This will be probably 2/3, maybe even 3/4 of a track filled before the green flag pit stops occur.
Yeah, and like I said, I mean, it's synonymous with long green flag runs at this track. I want to shout out Thomas Pope says, "Let's go, Brandon Bodine." He always tries his best. I love it. Well, he's got to try a little harder. Might not be a track that Brandon Gagnon runs a lot at, but it's a tough one right now. He is back there. He's got a lot of work ahead of him right now, running 20 seconds. Out of the 25 drivers that have shown up for tonight's event. Still a lot of laps to go, though. And then we have... wow, I'm going to butcher this one, too, Jeremy. I know you sit here and do it. Kelscopoline? If that's wrong,
Sure.
You know what? I apologize. Says, go Tiny Toes. Talking about the Team Tiny Toes. That's what we're going to call them. That's Corey Denk and Dalton Wicker running 16th and 17th respectively as well. So that's a shout out to those that you take the time to shout out in the chats, which are open. We always like to give you an update on where the drivers that you shout out are. But right now, Jeremy, it's Ryan Bean. He is just setting sail after he passed, and that lead just continues to grow.
The 24 Jack Simpson, he's down pit road, 6 laps down. Car looks clean, not sure why he's so far back, but nonetheless he is on pit road once more. Gets the 4 fresh virtual Goodyears, it looks like. At least the right sides are jacked up. It's going to use one set of those tires entirely here. I don't think this is the opening window for pit stops. I think he's just a little off sequence, so kind of keep up to date. When the pit stops do occur, Ryan Bean up to a 2.5 over Timothy Watson, and Zach Schrenthal has caught the 43. 3 car lengths separate these guys in total off the exit of turn 2. And you see the rotation just so much better on entrance, able to keep the momentum on center. Has to give it up a little bit right there, a lot of bit, as he could not get the power down in time. Too tight on the exit for the number 2.
Yeah, well, in these corners, Jeremy, they're very tricky. It almost seems like you can carry more speed than what you actually can, and before you know it, that wall starts creeping up on you like that. And if your car happens to have a little bit of tightness to it, like what we've seen from Zach Schrenthal there, it makes it even worse. You feel like you got the speed going in, you let that car rotate up a little bit, a half a lane, you're gaining on that car there, and next thing you know, you know, that wall was coming close to him. You see he was a little bit more conservative there on that lap there to not repeat what happened the previous lap.
And he keeps it a little bit closer to himself in the 43. 29 laps in the books. Approaching just at the 100 laps to go mark. Here's the 23. Here's the 94. As we're kind of just cycling through here a little bit. As the field is continuing to space each other out more and more and more here. We're going to go our first picture-in-picture commercial break. We will be right back.
Two.
Just at the tail end of our cycle of commercials that we play typically, Brandon Gagnon throwing up some smoke in turn 4, unscheduled pit stop for the 83. Well, actually, it might look like he was coming in. He was coming down pit road regardless. Too much rear brake, spins the thing out trying to get to pit road. And just like that, one little issue is going to set you back quite a bit. I did this in my race in Solstice 5 months ago. I did a little bit too much speeding because that line comes up kind of quick. And that costed me severely. And it looks like Brandon Gagnon's going to feel that effect there. No caution, of course. But he's got fresh tires now. And he's got his cycles back to where he was, at least try to. Because he lost about 10 seconds or so in that transaction on the inside wall.
Yeah, and that's tough, especially when you have long green flag runs. Those 10 seconds, that he was there trying to get things undone. I mean, he lost so much space on the track, and that's the tough thing with that. Kel Scopoline reassured me on YouTube chats that I got the name right. So Jeremy, that is proof that that's at least one name I did not butcher. So you know what? I'm taking this night as a victory on that one there. So I will take that proudly.
You're going to take that not only as a victory from Victory Fuel. Let's shout him out. Let's bring him into the picture here. We don't have a rotating video commercial for him, so tail end of it, why not? This drink, you see it on Richie Coy's hood here. Rocks them every single week. Loves their product. He just promotes a simple code. He's not earning cash from them, so it's just he really believes in the product, and we do too. So this drink packed full of electrolytes, no caffeine, very low sugar content. Comes in a smaller 12 or I think it's 8 or 10 ounce can, a little bit smaller than your average can of soda. And this thing tastes really good. 3 flavors. You got Lucky Lemon, you got Throttle Punch, and you got Purple Potion. So if you want to try any one of those 3 flavors, Richie gets a little loose. But yeah, go try them out. And they're just great flavors to try. Drinkvictory.com. RSR is your promotion code tonight. It's going to save you 10% off your purchase. And I think I have Purple Potion, Dustin, actually in my shopping cart tonight. I will be pressing purchase. I talked about it on Sunday. It's been sitting there for 2 days. I just haven't pressed the checkout button yet, so I'm going to be doing that tonight.
Oh, come on. Pull the trigger, my man. Victory Fuel. I mean, that's where it's at. It is I will confirm, it is a 12-ounce can. I've got a can right here that I'm drinking on.
It is a 12-ounce.
It is a 12-ounce. It is, it's essentially the size of a Red Bull can. So if you guys want to sit here and compare, that's pretty much the size that it is. But it's an amazing product. It's a great way to stay hydrated. And the flavors are amazing for no extra additives, sugars, colorings, anything like that. I mean, it does have good. And I'm not much for lemon flavors. Never really have been, but I can tell you the Lucky Lemon is pretty tasty for a lemon flavor, and that's saying a lot because I'm not big on lemon. But their Throttle Punch, I love their Throttle Punch, and I can't wait to try their Purple Potion. So we'll see what other flavors come out, and it's an awesome story about Victory Fuel. You get a chance, go to drinkvictory.com and read the About Us. It's a really good one. Has a lot of ties in with motorsports and the Swindell family, which for any of you guys that are big into World of Outlaws, you guys should know the Swindell name. Slam and Sammy Swindell, one of them, his son Kevin Swindell. But it's an awesome story though, but go take a look at it, and while you're there, order you some.
And while you're doing that, pit stops. Timothy Watson, 43, your pole sitter on pit road. I think he just exited. Gage Wenzel in the 36. He's down pit road. 21, Christopher James. 24, Jack Simpson still sitting on pit road, according to my scoring. Ryan Bean's down pit road now. The 98, Nick Alford. 17, Dalton Wicker. And 81, Scott Shive. He's down pit road here. So it is opening up. So, Dustin, 40 to 45 laps is your pit window. So that's going to tell us at least...
Oh,
the 57!
No, Brian!
Brian Fine, not so fine on the pit entry there. Looking like Brandon Gagnon times 2. And, man, yep, that's going to cost him 10 seconds. And a lot of work to be had from the 57.
Yeah, well, I mean, you've seen right there. I mean, he was coming in with that first pack that was coming in led by Zach Schrinthal. And just in that little exchange, he's now in the same line with the second pack that was coming in that had Dwayne Furtick, Corey Denk, and Kevin Ruff in it. So he already lost quite a bit of space on that, and that's unfortunate. But that's that you were talking about. It doesn't seem like that it's that tricky, but it is a very tricky pit road entry because that line comes up on you so fast. And if you have too much rear brake in it like that, or your brake bias is just, it's off, it does exactly what it did for Brian Fine there and for Brandon Gagnon as well, and just loops it right around. Right now you see Schrinthal and company coming out. That's Brock Potter, Harold Watkins behind him. You seen Ryan Bean was coming in the picture. He was full swing as well. He's on the way out. You still have Jonathan Cogsworth on pit road, Alexander Hodge, Bob Fitzpatrick Sr., and Junior on pit road. So those guys finishing up the service from their virtual pit crew, they're on the way out, but Ryan Bean is still going to maintain that race lead, Jeremy, and by quite a bit. So like you said, lap 40 to 45 is your pit window there, Jeremy. So if they play it right, they could potentially do it in one more stop. If they do it, if this thing goes caution free, and they can stretch this one out to get to lap 90, right around there, that means that when they come in for their pit stop, they will have 45 laps left to the end of the race. So potentially, as far as pit strategy on that, one more stop if some of the guys want to do it.
4 lead changes now amongst 4 drivers after the pit cycle. It's Timothy Watson, Ryan Bean, Alexander Hodge, and the 80 car of Jonathan Cogswell, your 4 technically drivers that have led a lap in this race so far for the 2-1-3 Simware 135. A lot of them have cycled through. Ryan Bean does resume back. And to my surprise, Dustin, these guys have kind of closed up a little bit. You see a little train of cars right here led by the number 4 Brock Potter. He's got Harold Watkins behind him right now. Zach Drenfenol up front. Christopher James in the 21, I think, behind those guys.
That's Timothy Watson. He lost quite a bit on pit road. Yeah,
7 seconds.
So he did not have the pit stop for his first green flag pit stop that he was hoping from his virtual pit crew. He was in a battle there with Schrittenthal for second and third right there, and he fell all the way back to 5th. Then you go a little further back, Richie Coy kind of on his own. He's kind of in his own zip code there. He can still see the drivers in front of him. Right now, coming off of turn 2, doesn't really have a lot of pressure behind, so he's kind of on his own. And then Adam Boughton is that car that's further back behind Richie Coy, Jeremy. Up 1 spot from where he started, but he's kind of in the same boat as Richie. He's kind of out there in his own zip code. And, oh, man, Gage Wenzel. Or no, that was the 12. That's Bob Fitzpatrick Sr. went way up there. He's a lap down right now, so he's just kind of yielding way. But Gage Wenzel doesn't have pressure either. So these next 3 drivers, that's Dwayne Furtick and Nick Alford, that rounds out your top 10, and they're just kind of out there, just kind of floating on their own. And again, you got the top 5 there. That's going to kind of wrap up the Waterford Concepts LLC top 10 recap. But Jeremy, very, very spaced out right now.
Yeah, just every part of the track has somebody or somebody's on there right now. 50 laps into this 135 lap event. Very clean pit road except for Brian Fine. He spun down pit road. We saw Brandon Gagney do it. So 2 driver errors. With a lot of slow entries. Ryan Bean somehow in Stealth Motorsports. He's very stealthy at what he does. And 5.5 second lead over the number 2 Zach Strenthal post pit stops. And coming up to lap 91, 92. Some of the strongest movers tonight. 12 positions up for the 25, Dwayne Furtick is your highest mover. Corey Denk in the 7 from Tiny Toes. He's up 11. And Dalton Wicker up 10, also from Tiny Toes. So those 3 drivers, double digits in the plus category. Everybody else, Dustin, it's either +3, +2, +1, or 0. So very stagnant field from 51 laps ago.
Yeah, and we all, those are your biggest gainers, Jeremy. Some of your drivers that are struggling the most right now, Jack Simpson, still down there. He's got engine issues. I mean, that thing's just barreling smoke like he's smoking some venison or something under that hood. That's not what you want on that one. And he had been struggling since the start. He's down 14 spots from where he was at. Some of the other drivers that are struggling that we've already covered, Brian Fine, we've seen his pit road conundrum on his pit entry there that has cost him. He's down 8 spots right now. Kane Lee down 9 spots. We've seen him at the start of the race, Jeremy, and he's still been trying to gain back from that, where he was put 3 wide in the middle there, really sandwiched and got loose and saved it, but he fell way, way back. on that one. Dalton Wicker, who we just talked about being in double digits, just lost 3 of those positions right there. So he's now in that +7, but I just wanted to talk about that. And Scott Shive is the other one. They're back 8 positions from where he initially started. He's running 19. So those are the drivers that definitely have at least one more pit stop to try to dial in their car, and what settings and that they can adjust, as this is a fixed setup league, and dial in their racing line. So they still got time, Jeremy. We're only working lap 54 of 135.
I'm kind of curious if they all pitted based on fuel mileage, because the majority pitted between 43 and 45. So let's say if you go 45, you got 45, 90, and exactly 135. So for the guys who pitted on 43, they might be cutting it a little too close. So we'll see if that does play a factor here tonight, or if they just came down because they were screaming for tires. Either way, one set of tires gone from everybody else, 2 more sets in total, which is 1 on the car and 1 more behind the pit wall. If it goes green the rest of the way, that should not be a problem for all these drivers currently out here, as we're kind of just cycling through here. Here's the 7, Corey Deck, 14, Travis Strogeny. Those 2 guys going through turn 1 and 2 for a P11 and 12. Ryan Bean's out to a 6-second lead. Brock Potter has found 3rd place, and coming up a little bit on the number 2 is Zach Strenthal. So it's a Toyota party right now inside the top 4.
Yeah, as you see them working their way around the 21, that's Christopher James. He yields and goes way high. Brock Potter and Harold Watkins, these two drivers have not left each other. They've been pretty close this whole time. But like you said, right now, Ryan Bean in a whole different zip code on his own. You see Brendan Gagnon right there was in the frame. He's trying to chase him down, maybe try to get a lap back from the 28 the hard way. And then Zach Strenthal he's starting to pull away a little bit from that next group. And again, that's that Brock Potter, Harold Watkins tag team duo there. But like you said, Jeremy, a lot of space in between these. I mean, you sit here and take a look at a number of these cars, and right here, this is down the backstretch there. It's off turn 2. I mean, just so much space in between these, and that's what these long green flag runs do. It then comes down to the driver. How much are you conserving your tires? How much are you saving? Can you make it to the end? That's where we're at right now.
There we go. And just to clarify, I just made my purchase. I have a 4-pack of Purple Potion on the way.
He did it! He did it, folks!
Next Tuesday, I should have a nice cold fresh one straight from the shipping, from whatever company ships it over. I'll be having one in my hand, talk about, review, yada yada. So looking forward to that. But back to the track though. Dustin, 14, Travis getting a little loose there. The thing is, we were excited to see how this racing played out, and not all tracks can be the most fun, but needless to say, it's fun for the drivers. This is the first time they've experienced this place, and so we're learning. And so sometimes when you go on learning versus racing the track, it might get a little spaced out. That's exactly what we're seeing here. And it's playing out for one driver in particular, that 28, Ryan Bean, 6.5 over the 2. Brock Potter falling off just a little bit, 7.25. But 3rd and 4th, it's probably the raciest position on the track except for the 7 and the 14.
Yeah, and like you said, it's a give and take when it comes to what the drivers want on track and what is entertaining for the viewers out there and for broadcasters. Obviously, a lot of side-by-side racing action. That's always entertaining. A little bit of door rub. A caution here or there. That's entertaining because it brings a different variable and aspect of things. But the drivers, you and I, Jeremy, we've put a lot of time behind the wheel. A lot of time over the last 20 years. A lot of the times, this right here is what the drivers really look for. They like those long green flag runs. They like pitting themselves. Hey, can I save a tire? Can I chase that guy down in front of me? Or if it gets spaced out, if you're like a Richie Coy who's kind of out here in a zip code on his own right now, Now it's driver versus track. Can I tame this track? This is what the drivers like. So sometimes kind of opposite ends of the spectrum. It may not be the most entertaining at times, but I guarantee you these drivers are having fun out there, though.
They're definitely having fun. It's a very different track. You're learning. You're learning if you can go to the bottom, you can run the top in the first part of the corner, straighten out the exit. So it might not look fun on TV at times, but these guys are definitely enjoying themselves here. Around 135 laps around this 1.49 mile. Why can't they just call it 1.5? I don't know. Just move the ruler slightly above the center of the track, and you have a nice clean 1.50, but nope. 1.49.
We'll call it 1.5, Jeremy. We'll call it 1.5 mile. There's nothing saying we can't call it a 1.5 mile.
I mean, coming from you, who is a little more particular on that notion, I will take it, and we will call it with a 14 really out of shape off of turn 4. Travis Strogen, he was really low on the exit. A little loose on the center of the corner off of 3 and 4.
Hey, you know what? Put it this way. You can get one measurement if you go around this track on that white line, and a completely different measurement if you get it going around the wall around this entire track. So, if you can sit here and do that, we'll sit here and slide it up just a couple centimeters from that center line and call it 1.5. I'm cool with that.
Very good. We'll go from there. And these guys cycling through here. You see the 91.57 who came off that pit road hit to the left front on this pit stop 20 laps ago. He's riding on board now. Looking at the number 91 and the 57 respectively. They're 1 and 2. There's the downhill approach. And at the very point of the apex, it goes uphill. Then we're going to drive up the hill on a sharper exit. And then we're going to go to 3 and 4 here. And it's just a much slower corner. There's not too much room to be had as far as the racing line goes. It's typically just to the bottom. Just like that. That's the majority of how people are going to run it. Oh, not the 91. Not the 91. Kane Lee taking a detour on the front straightaway, hits the inside wall.
Whoa, what happened there? Wow.
We'll have to find out here on the Nerd TV replay. I mean, you got that cooking. There it is.
Yeah, we're getting there. That was
He's got loose a couple times now. Him and Travis both have been loose in 3 and 4, so it's bound to happen eventually, right? So he's already loose right here. Yep, there. The front of the car starts to rotate in. Now he's chasing it. He got it straightened out.
Oh, he got the death wobble.
He sure did.
Oh man. Hard impact too to that inside wall. So for those of you that haven't followed any of our broadcasts, the death wobble, it's very very synonymous with this Gen 7 car, because I refuse to call it the next gen car like Jeremy. But this Gen 7 car, these things with that rack and pinion steering, when they start getting loose and you try to correct it, you tend to put a little more wheel into it than what we are used to putting into with, say, the different generations like the Gen 6 or the Xfinity or the truck. And you find yourself knowing that you have put too much wheel into it. You feel it start to snap that way, so then you correct it the other way, and it's just sawing back and forth, and it just goes left and right, left and right. A lot of times when you get that death wobble, it is so hard, and correct me if I'm wrong, Jeremy, but it is so hard to be able to save that car and drive out of it without spinning it or making contact with the wall. We have seen drivers over here at the RSR BestOne Cup Series have that death wobble and be able to drive out of it and save it, and it's a beautiful thing to see these drivers do. But even in Kane Lee's spot, it is so difficult in that situation to try to drive out of that.
Yeah, I mean, it's a wider tire base too. You got that plus the rack and pinion, and it just it hooks up quick.
Very quick. It bites very quick.
It was just loose. We put it on slow motion, and it still happened within a second or two. So very tricky through there. But Dustin, we're a very nice 69 laps sent through this race. We're going to go to our second picture-in-picture. We'll be right back. And back to full screen here for the 213 Simware 135 at the simulated Mobility Resort Motegi Speedway. We're 78 laps into the 135, so just a little bit past the halfway mark. Ryan Bean still with a 7.7 second lead over the number 2, Zach Strenthal. And Dustin, I think this orange paint scheme who brought Ryan Bean a very mixed set of luck, good and bad. Bad to start the race, very good to finish the race last week. On a tear tonight with a really fast Chevrolet Camaro.
Yeah, he was kind of iffy. He talked about it in the best one tire victory lane last week, that he didn't know how it was going to go as far as the color and the car change. Had been running Toyota, but decided it was time to squeeze the trigger and switch the manufacturer to Chevy. And found himself on strategy taking the win last week. And this week here, Jeremy, it's not strategy. It's just flat out driving away right now. His teammate, Zach Schrint, although still trying to chase him down, but we're starting to run out of drivers here that are on the lead lap. You know, we're already 17 is all that's on the lead lap as it sits right now. So he's starting to knock him down. If we look at the track map, Jeremy, there's literally, like you said, there is somebody or bodies all the way around this track right now.
That is exactly true there. A little bit of space on the front, a little bit of space on the back as we look at it in real time. Presented by Racing iFlag, of course. Long partner here for the Nerditudes. And yeah, he's going to take them off here. I'm surprised, Dustin. We've had 17 guys still on the lead lap. I thought the number might have been a little bit less than that. These guys are kind of hanging on there for that. And we're still looking at this battle. The 4, the 23. These guys have not left each other basically the entire race.
No, they haven't. I mean, clearly teammates that are running very similar lines, strategies, and everything else, and they have stayed very close to each other. I think the only thing, they've swapped positions back and forth for the longest time. The 4, Brock Potter, was holding that final podium spot, but has relinquished that to his teammate, the 23, Harold Watkins. This is one of those pivotal battle points that us nerds up here for Nerd TV like to talk about, because this is the final spot for podium to have the chance to come up and chat with the nerds post-race. The other one is that battle for 5th place, which right now is starting to heat up. If you recall, Richie Coy was kind of in a zip code on his own. Well, guess what? He has caught the 43 of Timothy Watson right now, and he's looking to try to put the pass to him. This is a battle for 5th, so this is a stat there for that top 5. Richie dives to the inside. A little bit of drift up, does a slide job up in front. Watson's going to try a somewhat of a crossover, but is not going to have the momentum. Mark Richie Coy back into the top 5.
Makes it happen. Strong pass in turn 3. Thought maybe the 43 had an effort to make to the inside, but gives it up, and gives it up a large amount. 4 car lengths separate those guys in the center of 1 and 2. Off the corner here. A little more conservative exit there for the 19, but back to the 36 gauge. Wenzel currently P7, almost 19 seconds back. Off the 28, which is your race leader. For again, the 213 Simware. 135, there's the number 94, Adam Boughton. Remember, he team swapped a couple weeks ago. No longer part of Nerd Esports for this league. He is now part of, I think it's Revolution Racing. And the teammates brought him a great scheme. We've already touched on that. Doing pretty strong run here. And I guess we got just a couple more guys to run through here. You got Dwayne Furtick in the 25 and Corey Denk. No, speaking of Gage, just a minute ago. Calling pit road. It's lap 84.
That's
a little early.
That's a little early, Jeremy. I don't think he's going to be able to. Timothy Watson coming down pit road as well. I don't think they're not going to be able to make it on that based on what they've been running. In order to make this to the end, you're going to have to make it to lap 90. These drivers are going to have to stretch it to 90 to one stop it. Ryan Bean coming in. Ooh, man, he came in hot. Oh, and had to lock it up as well at the line. But he was a little wobbly coming in. So, Jeremy, These drivers may not be able to make it to the end. They may have to do a stop and go for a little bit of splash to get them to the end, because as it sits right now, we still have, what is it, about 49 laps to go, and these drivers have not been able to go that distance all night. You got Nick Alford coming down pit road as well. He had a clean pit road entry. Jonathan Cogswell coming down pit road. Very clean entry for that number 80 crew coming to the service of his virtual pit crew. So, Jeremy, pit road starting to light up. Looks like the two is Schrintenthal coming to you.
This must be more about tires than it is fuel. For those guys to pit on 40 to 45 and then come down a little bit before the 40 lap mark on the second stint tells me more of a tire game. And everyone's just pitting accordingly. It's getting real busy this lap. Right now we got, looks like 7 cars on pit road. Strenthal, Watkins, Coy, Corey Denk, Kevin Ruff, Jonathan Cogswell, Scott Shive. Those names are on the pit road on lap 85, 86, and 87, depending on if they're a lap down or not. 14's calling his shot this time. We saw the 28 enter pit road. That's exactly how you want to do it. That's how he's got that big lead, is nailing pit road marks. And if looks like the 4 did the same thing, 25 a little bit slower to the line. So this can make or break a race is your pit entrance.
All right, Jeremy. Who is going to try to stretch it to make this that final stop? I mean, we are just 3 laps away from hitting that 90 mark so that you have 45 laps, where some of these drivers that are coming in now, Jeremy, they may not be able to make it. You know, it may be that close on fuel. Again, they may have to do a splash and go. So who out of these drivers is going to be the one to try to stretch it? It's not going to be the 94 of Adam Boughton. He's coming down right now. Alexander Hodge, Bob Fitzpatrick Jr., those drivers, they have been known to try a wild card strategy when it comes to pit strategy. And right now, Adam Boughton is going to be leading. That's lap 89 right now. So if he comes down on lap 90, coming to lap 90, Jeremy, he might be in some pretty good shape if it does come down to a pit road situation. And Bob Fitzpatrick Jr. does not look like he's coming down pit road either. So he might be trying to stretch it as well. So these might be our 2 dark horse wild card nominees right now.
Dark horse wild card. I see what you're doing over there.
You like that?
Won't that be mistaken there? And I do. And there's the 11. He's down pit road. So I was kind of curious because now they're 2 completely separated sets of drivers, right? You got the ones that came down 6-7 laps ago. You got the ones now starting to trickle in. It's just, that tells me more so that it's gonna be a field game to try to save. But again, our first caution presented by Boomer Button Boxes is going to erase everything we just talked about, scratch it off the whiteboard. Bob Fitzpatrick just came on the radio and said, "There goes my strategy," saying it was going to be a field game.
Yep, so I was calling it. You know, there was that wild card right there, and that this caution right here, Jeremy, just closed that up right there. Oh man!
14, calling it, saying it was his caution. You see it on your screen. Comes down pit road. The very next lap, gonna get, well, he was getting loose. We'll take another look here on the No TV replay slow motion.
Oh yeah, he was loose. He's way loose.
But I don't know though. The 80 car just drove it right in there, Cogswell.
He did. I mean,
That's tough.
That's a tough call. That's a real tough call. I mean, the 14 did the right thing. I mean, you can see him visibly loose here. That thing's yawn out, but the 80, I'm not really seeing a lot of slow up from the 80, especially if you're looking further forward and you can see that a car is getting loose like that. I mean, usually you want to try to slow up. We're going to watch the RPMs here. 75, 76, 77, 77. Said he started slowing up right at the split second before when he knew contact was going to be made. So, I mean, that's a tough one, Jeremy. That really is.
Yeah, putting them in the Oakley visor kind of tells me a little bit more that there was less reaction time than I initially thought. But yeah, that's Travis given the EOL penalty because he verbally called it out, which is not required from the league rulebook to do so.
It's the
But he
sportsman
called
thing
it
to do, though. It really
a
is.
sportsman thing. Absolutely. At the end of the day, that is the best call. So don't get people confused.
Yeah, I mean it's excellent when drivers do that. Again, it's the very sportsman thing to do. He obviously knew he was getting loose. I mean that's a fact. He knew he got loose and everything else. But like you said, when things are different, we have all kinds of camera angles and everything else up here. We can sit here and see a lot of things, and then we're like, man, why didn't a driver take this route or that route? Well, they might not have seen that route. I mean, when you're in these virtual cockpits, Jeremy, I mean, your vision and your, viewports are completely blocked by roll bars, pillars, everything else. And, going on that Oakley visor cam there, riding along with Cogswell, he's seen him get loose, but it looked like he was going to maintain speed. But then, Strogeny slowed up again to, catch those rear tires to prevent it from slipping anymore, and that's when that slow up happened. And there really wasn't much reaction time for Cogswell at that point. So, I mean, it's tough when you're in these virtual cockpits.
Absolutely is. And Dustin, that erases everything that we talked about, as I said. Bob Fitzpatrick was really looking forward to using that as a pick, as a leverage.
I was
Put
too.
himself in a solid finish. Well, you're not driving the car.
Well, no, but I was looking forward to see if that strategy was going to pay off. Jeremy, I love people that love to take risks and gambles like that, and when they pay off, we seen Kevin Ruff try it earlier in the season, and it would have paid off if it wouldn't have been for a driver intentionally wrecking who's no longer here. Excellent call by the admins, by the way, and the excellent job that they do. We have seen, last week with the 28 Orion Bean. I mean, it was a strategy call. I love when drivers not only are going out there and racing good, like what, Fitzpatrick Jr. was doing tonight, but they also throw in that gamble of, that fuel strategy and pit strategy. I love that. And I was looking forward to it, but now, like you said, and like he voiced over comms, well, there goes my pit strategy. He had it and gone just like that.
And all this cycles in a new leader. Fifth lead change on the board for the 94. Adam Boughton. Alexander Hodge second. Ryan Bean slips to third. He's going to be starting on the inside of row number 2. So your 5 leaders tonight. Timothy Watson, Ryan Bean, Cogswell, Alexander Hodge, and now the 94, Adam Boughton. So we got 1 lap to go here. We're going to go back to green flag racing, resuming on lap 95. So 41 laps to go when these drivers get the press the go button at least one more time. And so curious to see how the 11 and 94 will hold up with some of the fastest drivers of tonight directly behind them. On fresh Goodyears, I think they have all the tires from behind the wall at this point. I'm not entirely sure. It's either they've taken them all or they got one more set. That is it. So I don't have that data in front of me, but that is basically what we're looking at here. This should be a fun restart.
Oh, absolutely. Got to shout out Michelle Rittenberry. She says the long green flag runs, though. She said, I'm surprised Kevin didn't hold out a little longer. He usually holds out and stays out and pits later, but maybe they know something that we don't. Ha ha. Obviously, the strategy was there, but maybe just the fuel burn was a little much. Pace car pulls off. We are getting ready to go back green flag. Green flag flies. We are back underway. 94 of Adam Boughton leads the way. You see Alexander Hodge jumps up and then back down again. Not going to have the run, but right now that battle is between teammates, the 28 of Bean and the 23 of Watkins. Jeremy, throughout the season, these two drivers have been racing each other hard and have been chasing each other quite a bit. It has been the 23. He's come up bridesmaid quite a few times to some of his Stealth Motorsports teammates.
He really has. He's looking to change it. Oh, the 23 drives it in deep. Slides up the 11. Alexander Hodge on corner center. He's going to have to check up for the exit, loses the ground, pass completed, top 6, single file on the front straightaway to complete the first lap of this restart. 2 car lengths separate the 28 and the 94. That is for your race lead. Looking at the 99 of Kevin Ruff. And 21 on the radio, simply saying, go ahead and dive bomb me.
Oh,
contact.
no!
Kevin Ruff hits the wall, takes out Bob Fitzpatrick, and that strategy just went from bad to worse for the number 3. Gets in a pickle. And Kevin Ruff brings out the second caution presented by Boomer Button Boxes on lap 96.
Oh, man, and that was just coming off that corner there, and we had talked about it. Jeremy, you know, those corners sneak up on you. You feel like you're Superman sometimes going through there because of the speed. And man, heavy pancake. He slows up the 3. Fitzpatrick Jr. has no time to react. Contact is made. Looks like, who is that? Is that Denk or Wicker?
It's Wicker.
That is Wicker down below that gets involved in that one as well. So damage to the front end of the 17, damage to the 3. So the night just gets worse for that the original Hog Wild number 3. Not going the way that that he was hoping on that one there, Jeremy. But like I said, I mean, it's just there was no reaction time. Absolutely no reaction time. It happened that quick.
I lied. That was the 7. Corey Denk.
Was that Denk?
Love that one. They're so close in schemes. It's like watching an F1 race out here with these guys. We're taking a look at it off of turn 2 once more. Pancake served. A big, fluffy pancake from Kevin Ruff. Hits the 7, Corey Dent. Comes up, and now I was trying to see how the 36 got tagged. Oh, he just got loose all by his lonesome. Hits the outside before Dwayne even got to him.
Oh, yeah, and that was a hard hit, too. That was a hard hit. We're going to try to go on board with the 36 there just to see what he was viewing out of that whole thing. So this is coming out. There's the contact. You see what's going on. He tries to slow up. Hard impact right there. I mean, everything happens. That was full speed, folks. Everything happens that quick. These drivers have minimal time to react when it comes to these.
Heavy contact there. And, yeah, that was so weird. It's almost like he was running a lot of rear brake once more. And he just stabbed the brake just a touch, and it sent that thing directly to the outside wall. That's the only thing I come up with on the 36 from my perspective.
Which wouldn't be out of the question. I mean, honestly, it wouldn't. Fixed setup league, Jeremy, you know there's not a lot that drivers can change. Brake bias is one of them. And with a track that you do have to do cornering on, and I know you do a lot more racing on that than what I do, so correct me if I'm wrong, but adjusting that brake bias when you go to get on the brake can help you turn that car through the corner a little bit, help you get that front nose bite that you need from center off. So that's one of the things that drivers do. Sometimes it doesn't benefit you when it's in a heavy braking point like the 36 of Gage Wenzel was in, though.
Yeah, 100% there. We're going to take a quick side-by-side, picture-in-picture, whatever you want to call it, commercial break. We got 2 laps before a green flag. We'll be right back before that green flag does fly for the 3rd time tonight.
too.
Back to full screen once more here. Half a lap before going back to green flag racing on lap 101. So 35 laps do remain in the 213 Simware 135. And it's going to be a fun restart. Ryan being able to move up to second, Harold Watkins into third as he shifted Alexander Hodge directly up the track in 3 and 4 in the opening lap. Jack Strenthal in fourth, Brock Potter fifth. That's your top 5. Restart zone engaged, pressing the go pedal. Here we go. Green flag for the 3rd time this evening. The 94, excellent launch. Adam Boughton gets over everybody else into turn number 1. It's going to maintain that 3-car length advantage. Everybody else 2 by 2 by 2 behind him still for the most part. Clean set of corners here. Don't see any massive pancakes to the outside wall. Some shifting amongst the mid-pack. 23 Harold Watkins trying to make the pass on his teammate here. Stealth Motorsports driver Harold Watkins. And he gets a nose dusting, and he's going to have a drag race downhill.
Yeah, it's that's something we haven't really seen a lot. Usually the 28 of Ryan Bean. Oh, as he tries to go down there, not clear. Has a little bobble from the 28. He's usually pretty good on those restarts, but Jeremy, that last restart there, the 28 struggled on that one there, and if it wasn't for Schrinthal really giving him a push, I don't think he'd be up to speed as quick as what he was. A lot of shaking and a moving back here, Jeremy, as they're all battling for position right now, and this is right around that 10th place, Jeremy. This is a hornet's nest if I have ever seen one right now. Working 103 of 135.
Yeah, a lot of guys trying to go. We know it's no longer a field strategy. A little bit less tire wear that you're going to overall consume on this set. Don't overdo it, though. You still got a lot of racing left. Harold Watkins. Oh, this one car. Tiny Toes driver Dalton Wicker in the 17. Actually does tag the inside wall there. His left front is broke. That's heavy damage there to the left front. We're going to take a look at the Nerd TV replay to see exactly what happened to Dalton. Maybe some contact with the 36 possibly, I'm gathering on the radio. Nope, this was just straight up loose.
Yeah, he's way loose.
Shipped. Okay, so you saved it, and then the 36 just put the tape on the flat rate shipping box. And Full Send University 17 just he clobbered that thing harder than what I originally thought. So 2 months early for the Thanksgiving dinner, stuffed that Turk into the inside wall.
Or take another look on board of the 36. Oh man. Well, and like I said, and that one there, it looked like he had it saved and he was down low, and it was that quick snap that brought it right back up in the 36. Again, I mean, it's minimal reaction time on that one. It's tough like that, you know, especially when you're going through and you got racing like that. And these things, when they get loose and they snap, they lose so much speed. Oh man, who was that just went way up the track? That was Schrinthal that just shot way up the track on that one. As right now you see Bean finally did clear Harold Watkins, Jeremy, so he's setting sail right now for Adam Boughton. And right now, Harold Watkins in a battle with his dancing partner for the night that he just can't seem to get away from, none other than the 4 Brock Potter.
Cannot separate these two. Oh my gosh, Schrittenfeld just destroyed the outside of his car. He outdid the pancake of Kevin Ruff 30 laps prior. That thing, I don't know how he's still driving around this corner at normal speed, Dustin. That thing is... Gee, and he hits it again off turn 4.
He's struggling. He is struggling. Well, remember the lap prior. He was the car that shot way up the track. Didn't make any contact then, so I don't know if maybe he's having some handling issues there. That car's super tight, but like you said, man, he takes the pancake of the night on that last hit. My God.
I have no idea. I have seen way less impact and things break in the chassis. Oh, whoa, what car was... Oh, the 25, Dwayne Furtick. 3rd caution tonight presented by Boomer Button Boxes. And, well, Gage Wenzel once again saying I'm sorry on the radio. So Gage
Ooh.
involved in 3 wrecks
Oh, and that's
here tonight.
not, yeah, that's not good. We're taking a
Crazy.
look. Yeah, he goes to, oh, he missed
Oh
times
man.
that corner entry break point by the 25 of Furtick. Furtick was just setting up, engaging to not get into the back of the 98 of Nick Alfred and was doing good, but the 36 was not expecting that and just cleaned him out. Man.
I thought you were gonna throw a pun out there saying engaging when Gage is the one who engaged the 25.
Ooh.
God,
Yeah. That was
just
that was a missed break point, a missed roll off on the throttle by the 36 of Gage Wenzel on that corner entry. There was nothing that the 25 could have done. He was just he was trying to stay out of the back of the 98, just trying to set up for a pass, and
yeah. A lot of
ooh,
theory on pit road. The 94 came down pit road, stealth. The whole team said, you know what, we're gonna go to the very last second, and then yeet to the right. Does not hit pit road, but it looks like about 9, 10 cars make their way down pit road for this pit stop. And Gage has a USPS bill to pay for. Sends 2 applicants to FSU.
oh, absolutely, full send university graduate for sure. It's a good thing he's got the rates on those flat rates though. Makes it a little easier, but I mean that's what it's tough, Jeremy, when it comes to tracks like this here. Where break points are ever important like that. It's hard. I mean, throughout the years, Jeremy, I've gotten in the back of you because your break points are different than mine, and vice versa. I mean, it's tough. When it's drivers of different disciplines and they have different angles of approach, different ways to drive the car. It can get real tough. But something that it's gonna be interesting right now, Jeremy. You talked about it. There's about 9 cars elected to stay out on this one here. And I know that we had just come down pit road, what was it, about 15, 20 laps ago. About 15. I'm going to be interested to see if these fresh tires, because I'd be led to believe that those drivers were probably saving their final set behind the wall and they probably just spent them. What's going to happen in these final laps now?
Great question. Next question is my answer to that. I do know that some of the guys have tires that are 20 laps old. I know I have some brand new ones. That's the only thing I know. I don't know what the tire fall off looks like. It doesn't look like it's drastic for 20, 25 laps to be affected. They're going to go back to green flag racing on lap 112. So that'll be 24 to go at that mark.
I don't know, Jeremy.
So like what, top 10 that are old tires, and you're finally gonna have the rest of the guys starting behind them on freshies. Like I don't know. We're gonna find out though.
We're going to find out. And like I said, I mean, I don't know. We've seen a lot more just in the last 20 laps, a lot more loose race cars than what we had in the first 100 laps that we ran, or first 80 laps that we ran. It's really, really tough to see that. And the reason for that is I think these drivers are driving the cars much harder because they know the laps are closing in. So maybe this track here, and again, I don't have as much experience on it. I'm just spitballing, but maybe this track here, if you drive that car hard like that, maybe it heats these tires up quite a bit and they get pretty greasy. And that's why we're seeing an uprise there in cars actually getting loose and breaking loose like that over the last 20 laps.
Yeah, I mean, this is true. The place is rubbered in, and as the track rubbers in, some of these cars get a little bit more on edge. And I think we're exactly seeing that. So pace car lights are out, 1 to go, 28, 23, front row. The 4 and the 43 sim stamp number still. We talked about it last week of my new segment.
Gotta get that fixed.
What the paint is going on with that. But he's your second row. And then you have Brian Fine, Brandon Gagnon. Shout out to Brandon Gagnon, 83. one of our drivers from Nerdy Sports. Remember, he hit the pit wall on lap 41-ish, entering pit road, lost a bunch of time. I think at one point he was listed 2 laps down. And virtue to these cautions, gets the wave around, and he's found himself, Dustin, just outside the top 5. So great recovery from Brandon.
Great strategy. Hands down, you're right.
Just making it happen. So let's see what he can do inside this top 10 once more. His car's about to pull down. 4th time we're going to see the green flag fly from the flag stand. Not a Geico restart zone because we're in Japan. They don't care about Geico. They have Toyota logos. And here we are. 28 with a decent start over his teammate here is going to gap the 4. Little shifting from the 43 down to the inside lane. They go single file for the first 4. Now 5. Brandon's going to try to get to the bottom. Brian Fine's going to stick the nose there. Cannot get the grip to keep it. Top 6 single file now. Double file behind them.
Oh yeah, look at this mess back here. You got drivers trying to go for passes. 24 laps to go, Jeremy. Oh, and it looks like we got a little bit of brake lock up there. It looked like that might have been from the 83 of Brendan Gagnon. Seen a little smoke going into the corner there, and he loses a spot to Brian Fine. But these drivers know that their time is running out. 23 laps to go. And right now, you're looking at Adam Boughton, Richie Coy, Kevin Ruff. These are the drivers that came down pit road under that last caution sequence and got fresh tires. So these are the drivers that are looking to try to move up as fast as they can before that 28 takes out to a much bigger race lead than what he has right now. So it's going to be interesting over the next 20 plus laps to see what these drivers can do.
What a wild corner entrance there for the 19 Richie Coy. Crazy entrance there. I think it's 3 wide here. Calvin Ruff from the inside. It's a group of Ford Mustangs. Pinching them out is the 81. Contact. More contact. Richie, save it, save it, save it. He does. Great hands. Going to be awarded to Richie Coy. Oh, then, the 17. No, that's the 7 of Corey Denk. He hit the wall or checked up a lot. It almost caused the 19 to hit him on the left rear. They both save it. We stay green flag, but that one was a crazy little set of corners there.
Oh, that was nuts. You want to see how things go. 3 wide as they go off into the corner there. The 81 comes down, and right there, the 19 and the 99 are already so close that the 81 just leaves no room for error right there because there was a little bit of contact that pushed the 19 up, and I mean, the rest is history on that one, but look at that save, though. And that's going full speed right now, able to pedal it, bring it right back. Good bit of driving there by the 19.
Even Michelle Rittenberry saying, phew, that was a good save. Absolutely was. 20 laps to go now in the 213 Simware 135. Dustin, we got one more partner to shout out on our end, and you know who it is.
I'm going to take a wild stab at it here.
They have some collectibles offering for everyone out there. Dusty Pete's, you are correct. DustyPete's.com. Go there now. Go there after the race. Go there at midnight. Go there whenever you want to. 1,000+ comic books ready to be purchased. Action figures like your Funko Pops and other collectibles like that. NASCAR diecasts. Collectible trading cards of all sorts, from the nerdy stuff to the sports cards. Whatever you want, Dusty Pete seems to have it. So, contact for the 14. They don't have race version stuff, but everything else they have. And you're gonna use Super Nerd at checkout, 15% off your online order of $20 or more. See, Dustin, I got that read this time correct.
You did. I'm proud of you.
It did it all off the top of the dome too. So there you have it. DustyPete's.com, Super Nerd at checkout. You're welcome.
Absolutely, and yeah, Michelle, like Jeremy had stated, that was an excellent save, and I'm gonna sit here and say that there's probably a little bit of trouser chili there in the driver's seat of Richie Coy, because and of all the drivers that were around him too, because they were all probably clenching pretty hard on that one, not knowing what to expect. We had talked about it before. These cars can easily get in those death wobbles like that, and if they do, they're hard to get out of that. Richie Coy was able to prevent it from getting to that point and pedaled out of it. So, yeah, just like K9 Burnout stated, the wreck that didn't happen. So, good hands there. But Jeremy, right now, 17 laps. These drivers are all chasing that guy right there. 28 of Ryan Bean. Closest person to him is his Stealth Motorsports teammate, Harold Watkins, and that 23 Wingstop machine. We're going to see if at this rate, Jeremy, can Watkins does he have what it takes to break the bridesmaid cycle right now from his teammate, the 28 of Ryan Bean?
No. Next question.
That's so to the point on that one there. No to the next question. Not unless something happens to Ryan. I have to agree. Nothing against Harold Watkins because he's a talented driver. But right now at this track, Ryan Bean has got it. He's got it dialed in. I mean, he's got the track's number. He's going good. But right here, Jeremy, this is your battle for your final podium spot. Right now being held by Timothy Watson, but he's got 5 hungry drivers behind him. You see Kevin Ruff coming in the picture there. He's that 5th driver back behind him. 15 laps, Jeremy, to get this all sorted out.
Yeah, we actually watched Timothy there in turn 3 and 4, and that car was loose off of turn 4. I thought he wobbled quite a few times. Very minimal, but I could see it. And that's partly why we're probably seeing all these guys kind of stacked up behind him. Going 3 and 4 this time. You see the wider corner entry from the number 4. Gets down to the white painted line. It's going to really help his exit off the corner. He's going to get a little bit of draft. Not going to be able to get the nose underneath him this time around into turn number 1. And I'm surprised we're not seeing more cars try to widen out that turn 1 entry. Maybe they just don't know about it. I know it's there. I know it's effective. But also that was a different setup I was racing too. So I don't know how that's going to work out here. And 14 laps to go, 13 at the line. Looking at the back bumper still. Out at the field behind with the number 4, the 57. It's the 83 and the 94 behind them. 13 laps now left. And it's kind of spaced out a little bit more than what I anticipated on this last restart, Dustin.
Yeah, it really has. And I'm surprised at the speeds that some of these drivers are. And we talked about the tire situation as we see a battle right now between Brandon Gagnon and the 99 of Kevin Ruff. We were just looking at Adam Boughton. He was one of the drivers that came down during that last pit cycle. He's worked his way up to P6 right now. As you see, Kevin Ruff does complete the pass on Brandon Gagnon. And then you have just a slew of drivers back here. But Boughton is on his way forward. He is just outside that top 5. Jeremy's got 12 laps to go. I'm going to say it's safe to say, unless there's a caution, he does not have enough time to chase down our race leader. But it does look like that he will be able to try to chase down and get in that top 5. But man, look at the wobbling back and forth here. That was Schrententhal there getting out of sorts coming off the corner.
So you continue to watch this grouping of cars here on our screen through turn 4. See side by side, this is back in 14th plus. Nothing actually, no, contact there, number 2 and the number 80. Side swipe, get to turn number 1. Straightens them all out, single file once more, and I think that was it for the moment there for the side by side action. Currently on track. As we're getting almost to 10 laps to go as the 28 through 3 and 4. And Dustin, I might have to backtrack a little bit. I said no as a hard no on the 23. But the last couple of laps, the 23 has been a little faster, except for that last time at the line, the 28 rather. Extended it back to what the distance was just 3 laps prior, but the 23... I'm going to give him a 15% chance. He's showing signs of speed. I just don't know if it's going to hold on the long run portion.
Yeah, and it's tough because there's two different corners here. So, I mean, you can have a driver that is better. Like that right there through 3 and 4, Jeremy, it looked like... I'm going to give that one to the 23 of Harold Watkins. He got through 3 and 4 way better than Ryan Bean did. But going into 1 and 2 on that last lap, it looked like Ryan Bean had 1 and 2 down better. But Jeremy, right now, Harold Watkins looks like he is holding tight right now, and he's closing that gap ever so slightly, lap in and lap out, especially over the last 4 corners. So I'm with you. He's got his corner entry. He gains on corner entry. This could, in 9 laps, Jeremy, I mean, if things keep playing out, and it looks like the 28 is loose, Jeremy, coming off those corners. He does not look like he's got a comfortable car right now.
Past 2 laps, the 23 slightly faster. 0.482 is the distance, was 0.65 2 laps prior. So we're making small gains here. 3 and 4, it's basically deadlocked, or 1 and 2 rather is deadlocked. 3 and 4, the advantage is to the 23 almost every single lap. They're running identical lines, but the 23 is rotating just a touch better. That time it looked identical at the line. We'll see what the time difference is. 0.56, so 1/10 faster than 28 this time. 3rd and 4th place, though, heating up here. Number 4 passes the 43, getting to turn number 1. He's now in your podium position, P3.
Yeah, and this battle is not going to let up either. 43 of Timothy Watson still trying to battle, pokes his nose to the inside there. He's going to try his luck to the inside of the 4 of Brock Potter. And all this is doing, Jeremy, is pulling those drivers behind them further in. That's the 57 of Brian Fine. You got the 94 of Adam Boughton and the 99 of Kevin Ruff back there. The more these drivers race side by side, and like I said, we're at 6 to go, Jeremy. I mean, gloves are off at this point in time unless you're wearing Martin Sports gloves, and then the gloves got to stay on. But otherwise, it's gloves off at this point in time.
It's sad that I want the 43 to finish 3rd place so I can tell him directly to fix that sim stamp number issue. I'm rooting for him over here. No, I don't want to play favorites, but man, I would love to call somebody out. Oh, he's on the bumper.
Ooh.
Grinding the paint off contact. Slides to the inside. This is getting dicey here. 5 laps to go.
Yeah, 5 laps to go. I mean, he was scraping that paint off of that rear bumper of that Toyota of Brock Potter, and but you see how much it slowed him down. There's a little bit of space now in between. Oh, contact further back. That was between Adam Boughton and Kevin Ruff coming off the corner. It's going to slow both of them down, but Boughton able to get back in the throttle a little bit more. And we're going to have to see what's going on here. Racing is heating up all over the place, Jeremy, as we got 4 laps to go. 43 closing back in on Brock Potter. He is all over the rear bumper on that one.
Just under 6 miles left in the 213 Simware 135. A little bit of a gap between the 4 and the 43. I think that might be the end of that race. Also, Ryan being out to a 0.7 second lead. I think the race is over between 1st and 2nd as well, as long as everyone hits their marks. Coming through 3 and 4 here to get 3 laps to go. 4.5 miles do remain in this race. Timothy a little loose off turn 4. Natural for his car to do so. He's going to give it maybe one more effort, but time is running real short if he's going to try to get to that podium spot.
Yeah, and then we have a good battle here right now for that 5th place, currently held by the 57 of Brian Fine. Good rebound from that pit road incident early in the race. Right now, he's got the 94 of Adam Boughton trying to chase him down, but Boughton's not careful. The 99 of Kevin Ruff is also coming in the picture as well. So this battle right here, oh, Boughton loose coming off of turn 4. Is able to stay in the throttle, but that's really going to close the 99.
Contact.
Oh, contact further back. That's Gage Wenzel. Oh, no.
And stack them back up. The 4th caution.
Oh, we've got beef. I'm saying it, Jeremy. We've got beef on that one.
There's exactly beef. The 3 comes across the radio saying, "What the hell?" To paraphrase, I forget the exact word. But man, I thought the 36 had it all saved. As we're gonna back it up, VHS rewind here. He had it saved. I thought there was contact. He's driving straight. I think he might have overreacted on the steering wheel. Here's the contact, right?
Yep, right here.
2 down, 36 up. He saves.
Oh, he wall smacks it, and then he gets the wobble.
And then yeah, there's the wobble, chases it down, sharp left corner. Bob's probably thinking just keep it up on the outside wall. That's the
Oh,
easiest thing you can do for everybody. And then Bob just gets destroyed with
and
Gage Wenzel. Dustin. Gage is collecting cautions like Ash Ketchum is collecting Pokemon tonight.
gotta catch them all. And yeah, it's that's tough. You know, like I said, got that death wobble in there. I was like you. I thought he had it saved, and then it had that death wobble, and that was just the end of that. So a tough break there because that takes the 3 out. The 3 running very, very well tonight. You know, had that pit strategy going on, and you know that was wiped away from a caution. I can't even remember if that caution was the one that you know that involved the 36 as well. So yeah, definitely there's definitely some beef brewing right now. Get the grill masters out. We're gonna start flipping some burgers here pretty soon. So, but Jeremy, we still got a race to finish here. Still got a race right now. Ryan Bean leads the way. Harold Watkins runs second. This closes everything up, Jeremy. Now everybody is going to be, as I like to call it, nuts to butts. And I don't think that's the last Boomer Button Box caution that we see tonight. I don't. I'm going to call it right now. I hope I'm wrong. I hope it goes green to the end. But with everything stacked up and with the drivers knowing that this is probably the last hurrah to try to get any positions, which means gain any points that they possibly can, I have a feeling that there's going to be some more contact. We've already seen tempers kind of getting the best of people there, frustrations boiling over. So this track has proved to be a struggle for some drivers there and a real challenge. So we'll just have to see, Jeremy.
And gonna be definitely a challenge. I'm really just hoping the 23 can start with the 28 identically. I know it's gonna be almost impossible to out restart Ryan Bean, but if he gets a chance, it's gonna put a great show on the TV here to close this thing out.
Michelle Rittenberry agrees, by the way. She thinks it's gonna get dicey up in here.
Real dicey. She's got the D20 out. She's rolling it. We're gonna find out.
She's gonna try to get that crit. That's what we're looking for.
There you go. Get the crit roll with the 20. And then you get your D6 out there for the special ability.
You know what, Jeremy? Because
What?
so we're working on stuff behind the scenes for the next broadcasting season coming up.
Uh-oh.
And obviously we've got some segments coming up that we like to have fun with, like we've got beef and the flat rate shipping box and the full send university from Jeremy. I think we're gonna do it's gonna get dicey, or let's get dicey segment with the D20 that you brought in, but that I gotta thank Michelle on that one because I think that'd be a good segment.
I'm gonna let you front that one. Love to see what you have in store for it. Because I don't know what you would do with that.
Oh,
I almost feel like you're gonna get little not PG-13 for YouTube when you use that word in that context. So I'm gonna let you front that one.
No, it is. It's going to get dicey, man. It's the action's going to pick up here for these 3 laps. This green white checker that we're getting ready to have. It is. So we'll have to see what happens. And if we had the segment, this would be the time to do it. Let's get dicey.
Have it on a charcuterie board with diced pears, iced ham. With the D20 sitting where the sauce sits. It's just gonna be a great time.
We like to have fun up here. That's part of our job, Jeremy. Is we're not only here to call the action and showcase these awesome drivers, but we're here to entertain too. That's the other part of it.
Well, you hired the wrong person for that, so I'm out of a job now.
Oh, here we go. Don't cut yourself so short.
I diced myself up.
See, that's where the soundboard would have been awesome. We got to talk to the league admins. We got to get the soundboards in here. We have so much fun with them.
I could have an RSR dedicated soundboard. Absolutely.
There you go. I'm saying we'd have
a thing for next year.
We'd have so much fun with that. Michelle Rittenberry says, haha, you're welcome. So we're going to see what's going to go on, Jeremy. Pace lights are out on the iRacing official pace car. Right now, these guys are racked and stacked and ready to react. Hopefully, when the proverbial shit hits the fan. Green flag back out in the air right now. 28 gets a good start, but Jeremy, that 23 did match that start. He is right at that rear bumper right now.
Turn 1 seems to be the problem child on the restarts. Of course, because everyone's really stacked up. The 43 goes really wide. Looks like it's going to be clean all the way back through. A couple cars going back. The 43 might have contacted while 3 wide. Alexander Hodge sticks it in there. Brandon Gagnon backs it down, recognizes the 3 wide. The 43 goes really wide once more. He's going to lose a ton of spots this opening lap. And contact goes back single file. White flag is out, presented by Elevated Esports Racing. Just under 1.5 miles left in this race. See the gaps here. Not going to happen for the 23 unless Ryan somehow makes a mistake. Podium is going to go to the 28, 23, and the 4. Does anyone make the last second dive into turn 3? Nope. Maybe, no. Well, 3 wide. 43 is going to make contact with Nick Alford. Open the door for Alexander Hodge. Wreck.
Oh, here we go.
No, 2 cars spin out there in the final corner. And that's it. Race is over. Ryan Bean, collector of all the checkered flags, wins the race yet again in that bright orange. So 2 for 2 in the orange. HendrickCars.com Chevrolet.
Oh!
As we have more beef.
Whoa! What was that? What did we just see?
Richie Coy. Richie Coy has some beef with Kevin Ruff. Michelle Rittenberry, please tell us.
It's what it looks like. We might have some more beef there. And you know what, Jeremy? If memory serves me, that could stem from that 3 wide incident that Richie Coy had that excellent save on, where he was in the middle. Kevin Ruff was on the inside. The 81 was on the outside. So that could be where that that kind of stemmed from there. Possibly, if I was a bet man, because that's about the only time those two kind of really were close like that. So, more beef here at the Twin Ring Motegi, Jeremy.
And the 2183 also having some beef on the back straightaway. I can barely hear my own voice of all the banter going on. So it is put the red chili pepper. It is spicy out here. But as we're doing a big burn out here for the
Spicy and dicey.
Spicy and dicey. Indeed. Here's the unofficial results to this race. Ryan Bean, Harold Watkins, Brock Potter. That's your top 3. Adam Boughton at 4th. Kevin Ruff 5th. Brian Fine 6th. Nick Alford in 7th. Alexander Hodge in 8th. Zach Trenthal 9th. Richie Coy in 10th. 11th place, Scott Shive. 12th place, Brandon Gagnon. 13th, Jonathan Cogswell. 14th, Travis Strogeny. 15th, Christopher James. 16th, Corey Dent. And that's your last car on the lead lap. 17th on back. 1 lap down to more is Timothy Watson, Robert Fitzpatrick Sr., Bob Fitzpatrick, Gage Wenzel, Dalton Wicker, Dwayne Furtick, Kane Lee, Jack Simpson, and Tony Ludi. There's your 25 car entry and the finishing lineup. We're going full screen. We're going to get our top 3. BRB.
too.
And this is the Martin Sports post-race show for the conclusion of the 213 Simware 135 from Mobility Resort Motegi. And, well, things were pretty calm in the middle of the race. Very spicy at the end, to say the least. And Stealth Motorsports, they're all 1, 2, 3. I'm going to pull them directly from their channel. No need to separate the team when they're all together already. So we're just going to naturally drag up the number 4, Brock Potter, third place finish here tonight. Brock, congrats on P3 here tonight.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah, man. You and the 23 just literally cannot separate one another all night long, and you guys finish less than a tenth off each other. So I know you guys practice together. I know you guys have notes. What do you think the teamwork was like this week? Because you guys are just so dominant here tonight.
It's funny. Me and Harold do a lot of AI races, so we both did about 2 today, and just kind of shared notes on what we were feeling and what the fastest time was. And then I'm always putting the kid to bed, so I don't always get in right away. But those guys always get in and practice early, so they kind of compare notes from there. And once I get in, we just all kind of reconvene, and it usually works out.
And what's your thoughts on overall on this Twin Ring Motegi track? Yeah, a lot of lanes. There's a couple options, but for the most part, people are just stuck to the first lane or so. And just your overall thoughts on this track.
I actually kind of liked it. It's definitely kind of a driver's track. 1 and 2 is really fast. You got to kind of throttle control. 3 and 4, there's a lot more braking to it. Kind of feels like 1 and 2 at Gateway. So you definitely have to be a little more technical there. I kind of liked it. It's kind of like Gateway on steroids. And one of the AI races I actually did, it was a lot hotter, and I kind of wish we would have ran that. It makes it a lot slicker, a lot more throttle control, a lot easier to loop it. So. But no, I thought it raced really well, and there's stuff. I think more than anything, it was the lack of tire wear off that kind of kept everybody equal. That's what I'm saying. If it was hotter, I think there would have been more tire wear. You would have seen more movement.
Absolutely, I agree with that there. So, but congrats on P3, man. To close out this season, you got what 7 or 8 races left. You guys got some good momentum, so just good luck the rest of the way. Any final thoughts before we let you go?
Thank you, and thank you guys for what you do. Thank you, Chef and Ludi, for putting this on. Of course, gotta thank my teammates for always bouncing ideas off each other. And of course, gotta thank my wife and kid. We're actually getting up at 5:30 in the morning tomorrow, go to the airport, going up to Michigan, see family. So, gotta thank them for putting up with us tonight.
Safe travels out there to the home Martin Sports there. But have a good rest of your night, and we'll catch you next week.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. That was the number 4, third place finisher, Brock Potter. Now it's time to bring in the 23, Harold Watkins. Harold, congrats on P2.
Thanks, guys.
Man, you and the 4, for the most part, just could not separate one another. But toward the final part of the race here, you put some pressure on your teammate, Mr. Ryan Bean. What did you need to do different to pass him and get the checker flag tonight?
I needed him to blow a tire or spin out or hit the wall
That's
really
fair.
hard. We were pretty much dead even. Maybe I was a little better in 1 and 2, but in 3 and 4, he was just unbelievable. And that's where you kind of kept pulling me. And he had a walk in the park for the whole race until that caution came out. So I had to give him a little bit of hell and try to make him have to earn it. But it was his from the green flag. So not much I could have done.
And then I asked Brock about the track in general. He said he likes it as a driver's track. I saw a couple cars get pretty loose on the 30 to 40 lap part of the run on corner exit and even maybe on center. Your team though didn't really look that way. So just how did the car feel on your behalf there on the late part of the run?
Honestly, car felt great, pretty stable. Like Brock said, it's a driver's track, so if you have good throttle control, you can stop that getting loose part. People that are just jabbing the throttle, yeah, they're gonna have problems. They're gonna get loose. They're gonna smack the wall. But I think that's something our team does really well is good throttle control and patient as well. We're putting down pretty good lap times, but we're also patient getting in and out of corners, and you know, we can run qualifying laps pretty much the whole run with these cars just from the practice. I think that's probably where other people struggle, is they try to jump in on Tuesday nights with 20 minutes in practice and try to keep pace with us, and it's just not going to work, unfortunately for them.
Especially on a track like this where it feels like you can go full throttle on 1 and 2, and then you realize you have to slow down a ton. Has a false perception there. At least from when I drive the place, anyways. But congrats on
Definitely.
P2. Absolutely, team, just job well done. Final thoughts before I let you go?
Yep, bridesmaid again. Still can't get over
Yep.
the hump, but we'll get there one day, I swear. Shout out to the team. We practiced pretty hard for the session. Brock and I were talking quite a bit, doing our own practice, so appreciate him helping me out and working together on that. Shout out to you guys up in the booth, to Ludi and Sheffield for running the league. Shout out to Nate. I know he couldn't make it due to work, so he could make our golf championship on Thursday. So hopefully him and I can pull that one off, and we're not another bridesmaid there.
How's that going, by the way?
Great. Me and Nate have been partners for a couple of years. Just want to let it know that I am actually the bride when it comes to golf. I'm the A player in our league, so he might beat me on Tuesday nights, but I'm consistently beating him on Thursday nights. So give and take, I guess.
Just want to
Wanna
clear
get
the
it.
air on that one.
I have to take what I can get because he's
There
better
you
than
go.
me pretty much any time it comes to a computer game, video game, racing. So I got to take the one thing I can get.
There you go. I wish I could have that over somebody else that I know. Mr. Partner in crime over Kenny Bishop. So
Yeah,
that's
we're
cool,
basically
man.
brothers too. We've known each other since we were both in the womb. We're born a month apart. Our moms were best friends. So, I mean, it's a brotherly rivalry for sure.
Very fun. Very cool. All right, man. We'll wrap this thing up and have a good rest of your night. We'll talk to you next week, and we'll see what we got in store at the road course, Watkins Glen.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah, man. That was Harold Watkins in the 23, saying he's the better golfer of the two between him and Nate. But we don't get to talk to him. We get to talk to the race winner, the guy of many checkered flags, Mr. Ryan Bean. Congratulations. Cross the seas, does not matter. Still the victor tonight.
Oh, thank God, man. That one felt good. Unlike the last one last week.
Yeah, from start to finish, your car was just dominant. You had a bad and good luck with that orange paint job tonight. Well, you're kind of showing why you have it. So, what was the difference between you and your team? You were just that much better against everybody else.
Yeah, I mean, I guess from talking to Harold in the last stint, the difference was 3 and 4. 1 and 2 is this is a really cool track. I really had the lowest expectations I think you could possibly have, just because I've never driven this. But that was actually fun. It was fun to drive, and yeah, I don't know, 3 and 4, I just felt really good driving it, and nobody else was figuring it out, and I just kept. I mean, at one point, I think I was gapping Harold like by 2/10 out of that corner alone. So I guess if I have to thank anybody, it's that corner, and I surprisingly had some long run speed, which was a sight to behold. So hopefully we can keep that going.
Well, you definitely have momentum all year round. You got the most wins out of anyone this season. Even though Nate had the week off, I think you still had that regardless. But anyway, playoff time's coming up, and I think you're looking like to be the hot pick. So, how you going to keep this momentum going the rest of the season?
Yeah, obviously Nate not being here is a bit crucial to me winning today. But at the end of the day, any stealth guy can win. Harold had it at the end there, so I still think it's between me, Nate, and anybody on stealth. I mean, it just takes one track to get hot with this format. Or I guess not anymore. We're doing the chase, so I guess get hot for 6 weeks. I think lately I've been pretty hot compared to others, so I'd like to ride the momentum, but there are some tough tracks in the playoffs this year that I'm not necessarily a fan of. So we're gonna have to work still, despite the gap that we've got.
All right, man. Well, we're gonna wrap this thing up tonight. Any final thoughts before we let you go?
Yeah, I just gotta thank the boys. Stealth, we had a great race, 1, 2, 3. Shout out you guys up in the booth. Can't wait to watch this one back. And Ludi and Sheffield, thanks for putting on the show. And off to my favorite track next week. So should be some fun.
Well, good luck out there in New York for Watkins Glen, man. And we'll catch you next week. Have a good rest of your night.
Yeah, you guys too.
Thanks, man. That was the number 28, Ryan Bean. Victor once more. Dustin, he said he had low expectations. You had zero expectations because you had no idea what this track looked like. So what was your thoughts on it?
Zero expectations. You said it. It's like I said, it was a good race. You know, it was definitely a driver's race. You know, long green flag runs. The side-by-side racing was tough. I was surprised at the size of the track that we seen as many beef moments as what we did. It was more short track style. I see that smirk. More short track style kind of conflicts there that I not, you know, I was kind of surprised at that. But, I mean, a lot of drivers, it seemed like they were the same way. I mean, Ryan Bean he had low expectations, never really raced this track. And I'd have to believe that a lot of other drivers were the same way too, up until leading up to tonight's event. So, I mean, it was definitely a wild card. I know we call races like Daytona, Talladega wild cards, but I would definitely throw this one in the ring for that one as a wild card as well, just because it's a track that not a lot of drivers were used to. So, overall, though, I mean, posed some of the long green flag runs that it did. I mean, the racing was excellent. It was a good track. I'd like to see it race at this place again.
Yeah, I agree. People now got some notes from this race and can apply that to next year. And hopefully we do see it. That'd be kind of cool. Or try something else. Maybe Rockingham, something like that. Maybe we'll get Bowman Gray on this service next year when the All-Star race happens in February. You know, that'd be some fun.
Speaking of short track tempers.
Yeah, speaking of which, Bowman Gray's that name.
Yep.
Tell you what. We're going to close this thing out, of course. We have our lovely voice from Scott Martin, the deep radio voice. Going to close it out with our partners one last time on the Nerd TV side of things. You guys have a good rest of your nights. Join us live Sunday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 Central for the Global Sim Racing Truck Series. And then next week here at Watkins Glen for the RSR Next Generation Cup Series, of course. But you guys have a good rest of your night. Stay safe. Get your nerd on.
This presentation is brought to you in part by
Martin Sports. Get the apparel, look stylish, be badass with apparel from Martin Sports. martinsports.gg. iRacing iFlag. Must-have flag marshaling system for any aspiring sim racer. Get yours today at iracingiflag.com. Boomer button boxes. Total sim control at your fingertips. boomerbuttonboxes.com. If you race hard, then you need to rock hard.
And no station gets you harder than
iRock935.com. If you're a collector and that's your game, then Dusty Pete's, that's the name. DustyPete's.com. TW.
Back when nothing